I'm Ray. I'm a professional singer and voice teacher. I train singers to sing in English, which makes sense because I speak, read, write, and understand English. I also teach singers to sing in French, German, Italian, and Spanish. Yet, I speak none of these languages. So, how do I do it? How do I teach singers to understand the sound aspects of languages that I don't speak? In the next 8 minutes, I'll tell you how singers like me, and also actors, language translators, linguists, and others use a set of symbols and signs to represent sounds. The set is called the International Phonetic Alphabet. In fact, if you've ever used an American dictionary to determine the pronunciation of a word, you too have used the International Phonetic Alphabet, or IPA. First, I'll tell you a bit about the background of IPA. Then I'll describe the system. And finally, I'll give you an informative demonstration of how it works. So, let's begin. In 1888, a group of French language teachers wanted to devise a system with the sounds of speech independent of any one language, but applicable to all languages. For example, the sound sh, as in the English word shoe, is spelled with SH, but in French, the sound is spelled CH. Here's the French word for the English word shoe. Chaussure. In IPA, the sh sound is represented with this symbol, esche. So the same sign represents the same sound in every and all languages. Also, although IPA is based on the Roman or Latin alphabet, the same system can be used to pronounce any language. Here's an example of a Russian textbook. Now I've blown up this bottom part so that you can see that this textbook uses IPA to communicate the sounds of the English language to non-English language speakers. The word polite, the word everything, the word always, forget, and cry. Although Russian and English do not share an alphabet, the IPA symbols are universal and apply to all languages. Now, you may be asking yourself, but what about dialects and accents among the same language? For example, being from the South, if I'm to say this word, soda, I would probably say soda. S-o-d-a, soda. See how I include a diphthong? If you're from the upper Midwest, though, you'd probably pronounce this word soda. One vowel sound in the middle of the word. It's true that a wide range of pronunciations exist for the same language. So, I've given you a bit of background on the IPA. Let's move on to a brief description. The general principle of the IPA is to provide one letter for each distinctive sound. In English, the sh sound is represented by two letters, SH, but in IPA, it's represented by one symbol, esche, just as mentioned before. The th sound, one sound, in English represented by two letters, but in IPA represented with one symbol. This is the symbol theta. Think about the letter X for a minute. Although this is one letter, it has two sounds, X, K, S. X, box, b-a-x. So although there's one letter, if it represents two sounds, it's represented with two sounds in the IPA. Also, Also, IPA includes various terms for different aspects of pronunciation, such as phonation or voiced sound, articulation, the way the parts of the mouth create consonants and vowels, mouth position, the position of the tongue, jaw, etc., and syllable stress. For example, the sound ts is called a voiceless alveolar affricative. It's voiceless because there's no voice in that sound. Tss. It's alveolar because my tongue touches my alveolar ridge, which is the ridge that is behind your top teeth. And it's an affricative because it involves an interruption of the breath. Now, let's make that same sound, the tss sound, but we're going to add voice to it so that tss becomes a voiced alveolar affricative. Tss. Dzz. You say it. Tss. Dzz. As in grades. So, I've given you a bit of background. I've given you a description of how the system works. Let's finish the session with an informative demonstration. Here is a list of American English vowel sounds. A, E, I, O, U. This is called open A, and it's the sound that occurs in the word father. Closed A, hand. Open E, let. Closed E, chaotic. Open I, with. Closed I, see. Open O, call. Closed O, go. Open U, foot. And closed U, cool. Now, here's a sentence with all of those vowel sounds included. I admit it's a very odd sentence, but it suits our purposes. With cool hand and chaotic foot, father called, let's go see. You see the IPA transcription here. IPA is indicated as such with brackets around each sentence. You see open I, closed U, closed A again, closed E, open A, open I, closed U, open A, open O, open E, closed O, and closed I. Now, I know the IPA, but I already told you I don't know those 4 languages I mentioned earlier. So how do I take foreign language songs and help my students understand the sounds in those songs? This is where books like this come in to play. This is the most popular book in my profession. It's called Burton Coffin's Phonetic Readings of Songs and Arias. These include the songs in the standard classical repertoire. It doesn't include everything, but it includes a good number of those songs, and when the songs aren't in here, I can go consult other sources, including the internet, for these IPA transcriptions. For example, this is what it looks like. I'm just going to randomly read a text here. I'll read the first line. This is by Hugo Wolf. I don't speak German, but I can read the symbols and know that it says Wo die Rose hier blüht. The IPA has various important aspects, 3 of which I've just explained. I've given you the background, I've given you a description, and I've given you a demonstration. I urge you to begin to consider the sound aspects of language and how you might represent those sounds with these symbols. Check your dictionary for the IPA the next time you are unsure of a pronunciation. And look for IPA symbols to help you with pronunciation of foreign words and phrases. I leave you with this IPA transcription of each of your names. Enjoy!